On the way to visit a good friend of yours, you're walking up the steps leading to his front door and you happen to trip over a step, causing you to fall and fracture your leg. You have to be rushed by ambulance to the hospital where you have to undergo emergency surgery. Who's responsible for you falling and injuring yourself? Would you like to learn the answer? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a personal injury accident attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. You were walking up the steps leading to your friend's home and you tripped over a step. On the ground, at first you thought, you know what, maybe there's something on the ground that caused you to fall. And then you look carefully while you're on the ground in excruciating pain, and it turns out that the step that you tripped over was actually broken. Part of it was raised up, part of it was depressed into the ground. And what happened was part of your foot got caught onto the step that was raised up, causing you to fall, suffer a fracture, and have to go to the hospital and need emergency surgery. Your friend visits you in the hospital. He feels terrible. You feel terrible. Your friend says, you don't even have health insurance. How are you going to pay all these bills? And you tell him, not only that, you're going to be out of work for 8 weeks recuperating from this emergency surgery. The doctors told you they had to put in hardware known as an open reduction internal fixation surgery, where they had to put in metal plates and rods in order to hold your bone together. And that now you're going to be out of work for 8 weeks at a minimum, and you're going to have to learn how to walk again. And now you turn to your friend and say, how am I going to put food on my table? My job is not going to pay me. I don't have health insurance. What am I going to do? Your friend suggests, why not putting a claim through his homeowner's insurance? Surely they're going to pay for this. Well, that's exactly what you try and do. You submit a claim for all the medical bills, thousands and thousands of dollars, and now you say to them, listen, please pay. I got injured on the property, my friend's property, and you insure him. And what do you think happens? The insurance company turns around and they say, sorry, we're denying all your claims. Why? Because they don't feel that the homeowner, your friend, is responsible for your injury. And you say, wait a second, he had a broken step. Of course you're responsible. They say, no, we're not. And if you don't like it, too bad. So what do you do in that instance? Well, you have only two options. You can either try and convince the insurance company that they're wrong, or you can hire an experienced attorney to help you solve this particular problem. Now, what would you have to do to convince the insurance company that they are responsible for all of your injuries and the expenses that you now have incurred? You would have to show to them and be able to prove that the condition that you fell over, that this was a defective condition that the homeowner, your friend, knew or should have known was defective, then it was broken for a considerable period of time, and that he failed to fix it within a reasonable period of time before somebody like you got hurt. And if you can't convince them that this condition existed for a significant period of time and that the homeowner should have fixed it within a reasonable period of time in order to prevent this type of accident, you're going to be in a tough position, because now again they're going to turn around and say, no, we're not changing our opinion. It's going to be awkward when you have to tell your friend, listen, I'm sorry, I have to bring a lawsuit against you. But you may have to tell them, listen, I'm only doing this because your insurance company is refusing to accept responsibility and to pay me for all the things necessary that arose from this defective condition. So why do I share this great information with you? You know, I share it with you because chances are you tripped and fell and suffered an injury and are now trying to figure out what to do next. Who's going to pay for your bills? How are you going to get reimbursed for your lost earnings? Who's going to pay for the suffering and all the time that you now have to take to recuperate? So what I encourage you to do if you have legal questions is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. I do this every single day and I welcome your call. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Gerry Oginski here in New York. Have a wonderful day.